Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Rita. We're glad you have joined us. Those of us on the dais are a diverse group of people. We all come from different walks of life. We've each had our own experiences that have guided our walk and shaped our values and influenced our decision in public life. Some of us were driven to public service because of religious faith, some because of a sense of fairness, and others because of a quest for the common good. Whatever our original inspiration, I believe we all share the common goal of passing the fundamental moral test of public service. So I grew up in the Christian faith, which teaches that Jesus directed his followers to look after the least of these, that what we do for those struggling to meet their most basic needs will be treated as sacred. Consistent with that, but in more secular terms, is what former Vice President Hubert Humphrey described as a moral test of government. The moral test of government, in his reckoning, is how government treats those who are in the dawn of life, the children, those who are in the twilight of life, the elderly, and those who are in the shadows of life, the sick, the abused, the needy, and the forgotten, and those who can't speak for themselves. Often in our county government, we grapple to treat those in the last category, those who live in the shadows of life. Our fight to preserve livable homes in Wellston is a quest to meet that moral test, and a part of my administration's overarching commitment to reduce racial inequality and economic disparity. The resources we devote to protecting abused women and children are driven by this moral concern as well. At the Kathy J. Wyman Shelter, for example, county taxpayers are providing support for emergency shelter to women and children each year as they escape from lives of abuse, victimization, and violence. Last year, that totaled 342 bed nights. But we know the need is much greater. Just over half of those who turned to the shelter this year were turned away because the shelter was at capacity. We are working on a plan, and we hope to announce this soon, that will mean fewer of our residents are turned away from some of their most vulnerable moments. Our residents always come first, and the role of county government is to serve all. And in St. Louis County, that goes beyond the diverse group of people that make up St. Louis County. Among our charge is welfare of animals that come into our animal care and control, which is a division of the Department of Health. Animal Care and Control runs a shelter housing thousands of animals each year. The welfare of dogs, cats, and other animals that come into our care must also be driven by a moral concern. But these moral obligations in animal care and control are not being met. Not yet, anyway. We know that we have to do better than the county's been doing. We know that. We know that there's no easy way to change such an important program. It's going to be painful, it's going to be boisterous, and it's not always going to be popular, but it's the right thing to do. And as I've said before, I am committed to tackling the difficult issues that face this county for years that have been met with apathy for several years. And one of those issues is extensive rehabilitation of the animal shelter. Last month, the findings of an audit of animal care and control were released. This 268-page document offered more than 150 recommendations on how to improve operations. We have promised to keep the public informed as changes are being made. The Health Department is working with the IT Department to update this on the webpage, and we have committed to do that on a regular basis. I would like to recognize the importance of our county employees and our volunteers in this effort, and we will be mindful on how they're impacted with these changes. In the meantime, I've asked Spring Schmidt, our Acting Director of Health, to give us an update on the list of recommendations outlined in the audit, and after Spring's remarks, Sarah Daly from the Health Department will give us a quick update on pet adoptions. Spring, can you come forward?